Hey guys, Sheena here, the artist and creator behind From Junk to Journals. And it's been a while since my last video, so if you stuck around, and were patient waiting to see another video of mine, I appreciate you more than you know, and I'm sorry that it has taken forever to get more content up. I am doing better, or trying to do better with, creating content on a more regular basis. Not only for here, but on Facebook and Instagram as well. I've never been much of a sharer, not even on my own personal page. So it's definitely something that I have to get used to, and there's a learning curve to it. Besides that, it's hard for me to find the time to do it. I work 30 hours a week from home with a 2-year-old. So my creative time is through the night and into the wee hours of the morning, and that time goes so fast. But anyways, I am here today to flip through these journals, these nature themed journals that took me entirely too long to create. They did turn out beautiful. I'm happy with how they turned out, but there is no reason on God's green earth that they should have taken a month to make. No reason at all. I overthought every single thing with these. Not the cover images, the number of pages, the number of signatures, whether or not to leave the pockets open or shut, what kind of fabric. I mean, if there was something to think about, you can best believe that it was overthought. My confidence is lacking since I started back, and I'm having a hard time trusting, my artistic direction, but that will get better with time as well, so I'm just trying to work through it. But these are, I'm only going to flip through one because they're all the same on the inside. The same types of book pages, the same types of blank paper, the same fabric, and so on. The only difference is the images on the covers. These images were also a little out of my comfort zone. I prefer to work with more of antique looking images, more neutral. These are, they're not antique, they're vintage. This one, and this one all came from a gardening magazine from the 1970s. And this little black sheep, this one came out of Garden Flowers in Color. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the 1930s. I'm not positive though. Anyhow, they're a 6.5 by 4.5. Except for this one, I don't know what happened on my cutting board, but I ended up accidentally taking off a little too much on this one. So this one is 6.5 by 4. These need bound, these three need bound. Oh, isn't that delicious from that angle? I would love to make a journal this chunky and fluffy. They are going to, I do have to still put a closure on them. Obviously bind the other three. But this one also needs a closure, a charm, and there's a couple pockets inside that I still need to attach. I just had to get this flip through up and done. It's been weighing on my mind. And I'm ready to get these done and over with so I can start on the next project. If you stick around till the end, I do have 3 books that I am going to let go of, that I'm going to show. They're just, books that I bought with the intention of doing something with that I have decided it's just not, I don't have enough hours in the day to create everything that I have bought with the intention of using to create with. I don't know if that made any sense. You know what I mean? I have way too much stuff. So, yeah, there'll be more of that to come. I just, I need to look through this box one more time before I decide what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to let go of. And I will have my Etsy up within the next week, maybe 2 weeks. But, so anything that doesn't sell before then will be put on my Etsy. But full disclosure, once I do list them on Etsy, there will be a slight markup. I have to charge a little more on there to cover the charge that Etsy charges its sellers, the seller fees on Etsy. So here we go. If you're interested in any of these journals, any of the journals that I flipped through before, or the 3 books that I share at the end, you can leave me a comment down below. Send me an email at fromjunktojournal with no s at gmail.com, or send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. But on there, it's the same handle as here on YouTube, From Junk to Journals with the S. So I look forward to hearing from you. I'm excited to, start forming some relationships with you guys. So here we go. And all that information will be in the description box, so don't worry. They were made out of file folders that I found at the recycling center. See it. This is one of the pockets that I want to attach. I had coffee guides, some mini envelopes. I'm going to attach it here, and then, you know, I'll put something inside it as well. So they start out with a super old book, an agricultural report book. And then there's plain, I'm not sure what kind of paper this is. There's actually a little boy sketched on one side of it that was printed. It's some kind of special paper for sure. It coffee dyes beautifully is the whole reason I was going into that. And then we got this. I left all the pockets that were made from pages in here open on the side, so you can, you know, you can do with it what you want. Sew them up the side, or, you know, cut that there and pull it down for a flip, whatever you would decide to do. Some more coffee dyed paper. I'm almost out of coffee dyed paper. That's another thing I'm going to have to do. These fabric ruffles. All this fabric came from the lady that I worked with, her son, and she passed away, and I got all of her fabric. Oh my gosh, I have so much fabric. It's ridiculous. But I'd say it's mostly vintage too. From what I could tell from her patterns and stuff, it looked like she stopped sewing in the 90s. So it's from the 90s and earlier. Some of it I know is from the 60s for sure. But anyways, none of this is. Here's a flower book. Oh gosh, I forget the name of the book. I can't think off the top of my head, but it was pretty. And this is a tag that I made. I do want to make, also I want to add in a couple more homemade tags. I only have 2 in here at the moment that I made. The rest of the pockets are just stuffed with like ephemera stuff. But I enjoy making tags and decorating the inside, so I will definitely add some more handmade tags. Some sewing and grunge on the edges. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but my style is changing some. I am starting to lean more towards like grungy, more organic feeling type stuff. There is an artist on Instagram that inspires me so much. Her name is Alex. I don't know how to say her last name. Alex. I can't remember how to say it, but oh my gosh, her stuff is so gorgeous. She uses found elements and a lot of antiques, and you know, she just grunges up her stuff so beautifully. I'm going to take one of her classes in May, but I love the look of these pages down the sides that are bent and sewn on. Some fly-leaf page. A bird book that flips out. I like making my pages different sizes and lengths. I think it, you know, that alone looks really pretty. You know, just the layout of the pages. This one and then this one tucked kind of behind, and this one sticking out further. I just love that. I think it's beautiful. And you can always like sew on, you know, here I have this little dictionary page right here. You could attach that there, you know, sew it or glue it there and create a full page, you know, however you're going to do it. But I like how that looks. This top pocket and a lot of the, well, all the ephemera, not all of it, most of the ephemera in here is from the man that I mentioned before that I basically had his whole life on paper. He was an artist and a forester, so lucky me, anytime I use it, do a nature themed project, which is probably my favorite, is nature themed. I get to use the stacks and stacks of stuff of his. He was the director of an art exhibit in my old hometown, well, in the neighboring town where I grew up. It's called the Forest Festival, and there was always art exhibits and parades, you know, just really fun stuff there. But this is from 1991. I went back and forth in my mind of whether to add these in there because the artists that created, you know, that were showing their work in the exhibit, their names are on here and their phone numbers. I don't really know how I feel about that. If you have a thought on that, will you please leave it below, because I keep going back and forth of whether that information is too personal. But like even the names of their, the artwork shown was nature related. This one is Grandmother's Clay Egg Basket, and it's watercolor. Anyways, I just tucked that up in there. I thought they were really fun. I have so many of those too, from like the 1970s through the 1996, I believe was the latest. There's only 2 years of the 70s, and then it goes straight to 1990 through 96, but so many of those. I left the binding strings long, and I just double tied them, or, you know, put them in a double bow. So you can add things to the ends and leave them long if you want, or cut them off. a page or two from a little field guide of flowers. I think those are so pretty. Had to share those. And then obviously, you know, the reverse, more sewing on the edges. This page, it wasn't really that it is a little fragile, not too bad. It's just like where it had already, you know, torn a tiny bit. I didn't want it to continue tearing. I need to put a piece there as well. But I used that to my advantage and just, you know, bent the edges over some. And I think that washi tape goes perfectly with these journals. There's, this came out of that book that I used the cover images for as well. To tone down the brightness in the back and kind of knock down the sheen, I put a wash of yellow ochre watercolor over it. Coffee, I think, would have looked great too. But I love how it even made it feel. Here's the man himself, the man that I inherited all the stuff from. He is such a neat guy. Like, looking through his stuff, I think he had slight OCD. Some of the stuff in there, it's pretty hilarious to read. Well, I shouldn't say hilarious. I should say entertaining. He had put together some retirement parties for his coworkers, and the details that he has in there about like their relationship at work and stuff. It's so cute. And some incident reports at work that he had the details down to a T. It's really cute to look at. So there's his business card, wildlife and watershed staff officer. I do have 2 notebooks of his school notebooks that I'm going to sell. They're in full. They are, I forget the names. I forget the name of the class, but it's like basically a class on parasites that grow in animals and wildlife. And it's got really cool pictures of them and everything. It's just, that's really not my forte, but I think it would look really cool in like a steampunk journal or Halloween or something like that. I'll have to share that at some point. That's just a playing card. I thought they were really pretty. That's my favorite playing cards that I have. Here's a little cluster that I made that does still need attached as well. Like I said, I had to get this video up and these before I finished them. If I would have taken the time to finish them tonight, it would have been God only knows when before I did the video. So this cluster will be added in here somewhere. I drew that with it's just a little sketch with a Stabilo all pencil. Man, those things, I love them. I could play with those all night long. Into the second signature. I don't know if I mentioned or not, there's 3 signatures. This is a book about soil and dirt. That was his as well. Some craft paper. I love that look. Just a checking the stuff. And here's a page from one of his notebooks in school. It is October 12th, 1950. How grazing affects the individual plant. So I have notebooks full of this stuff, and it's fascinating to me. It was kind of hard to let go of. I'd really like to take the time to sit down and go through each one and like read everything, but that would be like taking college courses myself. I don't have time for that, but I don't know. It's just interesting information from an interesting man. His Manual of the Grasses of the U.S. This book is really pretty too. I love the images in this book. A grungy tab. See, there's another element of the grunge that I had to include. I'm really starting to lean more towards different artwork. I don't know. And it's funny because it makes me feel like I'm cheating on the materials and supplies I already have. Like, I have a lot of stuff from the 40s, like kind of more retro stuff, and which I guess I could, I can work with more than one thing, but then that's what makes it hard to make decisions. Like, as I was doing these books, when I first started out, I wasn't planning on putting anything grungy or, anything like that in it. It was a nature-themed journal, but then, I don't know, I just see something I like, and I'm like, oh, I gotta try that, I gotta do that. But, so I have a lot of supplies that I'm thinking about getting rid of. Magazines and books and stuff that I don't think that I'll ever work with. I bought or rescued or whatever with the intention of using them for my journaling, and with my style changing, some of it I'll still use, but some of it I don't think I ever will. So keep your eye out on on my Facebook and Instagram for posts about that as well. And maybe I'll do a video here when I have, you know, more of an idea of what I'm letting go of. And then this is the center of the second one. Again, I left them long and double bowed it. That's more Stabilo all sketch that I activated with water. Just thought I'd tuck that in there. I thought those turned out pretty. A bird book page that, I don't know, I thought it would be cute as an envelope. You can make it an envelope if you want, or, you know, if you want to fussy cut them, whatever. I didn't fold it where the birds were for that purpose. And another, it's a book on ducks. It's such a pretty background. Some ledger. Here's another grungy tab. I just think that's so beautiful. I can't help it. I'm trying to speed it up, guys. I'm sorry. You know, I watched the stats from the other video, and people don't tend to watch, you know, all the way through. And I understand that, you know, we don't have all the hours of the day to just sit around and watch YouTube like I wish we did. A butterfly field guide page. But do, guys, please, if you're watching this, will you like the video, please? I've noticed, and as I've looked at other people's channels too, on average, it looks like about 1 in 10 watchers actually like the video, and likes mean so much. You don't have to comment, you don't have to share. That would be nice, obviously, if you want to. If it's something you know, you feel led to share, you're inspired by, or whatever. But the like is really important. So give me a thumbs up, guys. Come on. Another flower book. This one's, I love this one too. The pretty black and white sketches, some painter's paper. I just think that adds a fun element. It's a nice lightweight, makes a pretty sound, and it's good to work with the Stabilo with that too. It works really well with that. Some more flower field guide pages. I don't know what this kind of paper is. I found it in the recycling center too. Some of it has sketches on it that I just cut off and just used, like, you know, the parts that were blank. But it's just some kind of drawing paper that was humongous. I don't know if it's craft paper or what. You can kind of like see, you know, the fibers in it. I love this paper though, and I would love to have more. I have no idea what this book is. I have looked it up online. It's definitely old. It's late 1700s. I would say maybe early 1800s. It's some kind of either dictionary or encyclopedia of some sort. I have looked, there's so many gorgeous images in it that I've done image searches online with, and I cannot find it. I would love to know what that is, though. A page from a smaller notebook of Arnold's. I'm just going to start calling him Arnold because, you know, the man did have a name. Oh, that's the other cluster that I want to add in here. I have a lot of these pages too. They're gorgeous as well. Monthly reviews, and some of them are from the 1700s. I don't know if this one is or not, but if they're not from the 1700s, it's definitely the 1800s. Here's a pay stub of his. I'm telling you, man, guys, this man kept everything. And I just thought it was cool to add that because he, like I said, he was a forest ranger, so it fits, and it's, you know, it could be used for collage fodder or whatever. It's, you know, got his base pay and all that information. I don't know, just such an interesting man. I love this fabric. It's beautiful. The colors and the little flowers on it. It's from that woman. Sorry, I moved the table, guys. I'm sorry. And this coffee dyed paper might be one of my favorites that I ever did. I mean, it even sounds nice. This tag. These are seed pods from the mimosa tree in my backyard. I just seen them in the yard one day, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have got to have those and use them in my art somewhere. And I just, you know, put the loose threads behind and stamped the word grow on. I think those turned out really good. Really pretty. If any of you buy these and you find, you know, the book that I said was either a dictionary or encyclopedia, if any of you are able to find out what that book was, I would appreciate it greatly. And just let me know if you do know, like, by all means, you don't have to start looking it up like I do, but I would just love to know what it is. It had words. A lot of the words in it were, you know, flower names. Dropwort, it says here in botany. The same with Philipendula, C. Philipendula, water dropwort, the English name of a plant called by authors, whatever. See the article Owen Nanthe. And back in early, well, not early printing, but like the late 1700s and early 1800s, if it was an S, or I mean, if it was, yeah, if it was an S sound that was, I think it's long S's, hang on. Yeah, if it's like the beginning letter of the word was an S, it looks like an F almost. You'll see that in this page and in the monthly review one that I mentioned. At first I thought it was a misprint, but then I looked that up and learned that it was like that, you know, that they did that on purpose. Here's a pocket that you can add whatever you'd like. Maybe I thought about putting it in the back, but you can do whatever you want. That's another image from Garden Flowers in Color that I put matte medium over. And just 2 other playing cards. Just stuff the pocket in the pocket. The other side of that flower page. With the images. And this, I found these at a thrift store. They're book plates for the, you know, the front of books. I love these. They don't look like it, but if you wet the back, they stick. I considered putting them on the back and writing from the library from junk to journals. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet or not, but we shall see. And then this beautiful grungy coffee dye envelope that I just stuck in here that I'll add some stuff in there as well. But there's the end of that. I haven't decided yet the closure that I'm going to use. Probably just a little either sari silk, you know, just wrap around it and tie it, or maybe some vintage sheet or something. Sorry about that, I was out of frame. But there's that one. And like I said, there'll be a charm as well. So that's the end of that one. Let me get those books that I mentioned. I think I've decided that some glue books are next for me to work on. I have so much random paper that's like not, you know, isn't theme related and not anything that I am going to use for like a specific journal, but that I'm having a hard time letting go of. So I'm going to use those books, I think, to make. I'll show you one of the books to make glue books out of. Here is, now this one I couldn't find. I found later printings, but I couldn't find this printing. It's 1941. It's a first edition, second printing. I found 5th printing and 4th printing, but not second, and they were like $20. I'll let this one's, you know, an earlier printing anyways. And I'll do this one for $15 plus $3 shipping. The shipping will be media mail, just so you know. But man, this thing, it has some really, really awesome looking images in it. I have a couple other similar books, like railroad breaks and stuff like that I'm going to use instead of this one. Sorry, guys. That chart's nice. It's got really cool stuff in it. The front of it here, I think these would look nice framed. I thought it was in the front. Yeah, I should have marked the page. I don't know. There's 2 really awesome pictures of like how a lathe is made. Oh, there it is. Yeah, wouldn't those look cool? I think those look so great just in a frame themselves. I love the I don't know, the architecture-y, technical, industrial, that's the word, industrial looking stuff. And paired against like something more feminine, the juxtaposition with that is really cool. I like to use stuff like that, like the side of a flower page or something. Goodness gracious, I'm having a hard time not moving this table today, guys, sorry. So that one, Running an Engine Lathe, 1941, first edition, second printing, $15 plus $3 shipping. Here is an early reader. It's the Natural Method Readers. A 5th reader, I'm trying to make sure that you can see the image on it. It's from 1918. It's in relatively good condition for its age. All the pages are intact. They're really sharp, or I mean not sharp, good lord. the pages aren't brittle is what I'm trying to say. But some child has, that picked, the illustrations in this are black and white, but some little kid got, you know, got their crayons in it, which I think is cute. Oh, there are some color plates in it, but like that, you know, that one is more black and white, but it's got some cool pictures in it. Not a whole lot, not as much as like an early reader would, but I got this one. I was going to use, there, see, he colored another one. I was going to use this whole book as a journal, but I have quite a few other readers that I'm going to use for that purpose, and I need to let go of some stuff, so there's more room in my life to bring the new in, you know what I mean. So that's how the universe works, out with the old and in with the new. So like I said, there's a few colored, a few colored with crayons illustrations, and then a few colored illustrations, and some black and white. The Natural Method Readers, a 5th reader. It's from 1918, and I'll let that one go for $13.50 plus $3 media mail shipping. And then this one is 1979, 60 Fairy Tales of the Brothers Grimm. I was gonna do 14 plus 3, but then I noticed this little spot on the back. I don't know what happened there, so I knocked it down $1. I found it online as well. It's hard to get this one in frame, so if you want pictures of this, just let me know. I can't move up my camera right now. It might fall over, God only knows. But there's some cool images in this too. Really great images. I found it online at upwards of $35, but I need it out of my life. There's a cool black cat photo and an owl. That owl is gorgeous. There's really pretty pictures in here, and the stories are cool too. It's in great shape. I'm just trying to show a few more images. So that one's neat. So, oh, look at that one. Man, I should have maybe flipped through this one a little more before I decided to let it go. But I'll never use those. There's nothing that I would make that I would use those for. Potentially collage. Maybe in some collage as the focal point, but. And then the flyleaf pages are neat looking as well. That's the back one. The front one's the same. It's bent a tiny bit there. So 1979, 60 Fairy Tales of the Brothers Grimm, $13 plus $3 media mail shipping. And last but not least, this one's not for sale, but it's just an example of one of the books I'm going to use for the glue books that I have coming up. They're large textbook size from all 3 of them. The 3 I have in mind anyways are books on electronics, or, you know, working with electric, stuff like that. And I think they're just a great size to put a bunch of random larger sheets of paper in to use for a glue book or a smash book, or if you just want to take the paper out and reuse it. But man, and the paper in this one, I love it. It's really super smooth, but it's got just really, you know, really neat stuff in it as well. Again, industrial looking, kind of steampunky. But, so this is what I think I might start working on next. Just to let you guys know, I gotta get some of the random paper or books, you know, the book pages and that are random in my collection used up, or at least used some of the way, so I can let go of the rest, so I don't feel guilty about quote unquote cheating on my products. Like, I don't know why I feel like that. It's hard to explain. Like, I bought them with the intention of using them, and now I've changed my mind. I haven't outgrown them. My style has changed, but it's weird. I feel bad about not using paper. I don't know. It's weird. I'm a weirdo. I know I'm a weirdo. All right, guys. Thanks again for stopping by to watch. Like I said, reach out to me via email or DM on Facebook or Instagram if you're interested in any of these new journals. And I still have, the shorthand book that I shared last time. I think it turned out really pretty, but nobody has messaged me yet about that. But these 4 beauties, if you like any of them that you see, just let me know. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Happy Easter. Bye-bye.